Hi there and welcome to this video series where I will be searching for the best trading strategy for cryptocurrency trading. In each video I'm going to test a strategy that is explained in a YouTube video, trading site or is publicly available for use. Each strategy will be tested on its performance by trading multiple digital asset pairs over their largest possible backtest period. The results of this test is then compared with the results of earlier tested strategies. If you like these videos and you want to see more of them, then please click on the like button and subscribe to my channel. If you want to get notified on my newest content, then click on the bell icon. It will also help the YouTube algorithm. Please remember that this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Everything you see here is hypothetical and based on historic data, so there's no guarantee the investigated strategy will work in the future. I am also not a professional, so always do your own research or consult a professional before using any information in real trading. In this video I'm going to test a strategy that is called the Vulcan strategy. I have no clue why it's called Vulcan, but then again I have heard stranger names for a strategy. I found the strategy a while ago on the internet and I have forgotten the original author. Unfortunately, his or her name is also not in the strategy file. So if you recognize this strategy, then all credits go to you, my author. Let's take a look at the code to see what's going on. I see that the original time frame of this code is the 30-minute time frame. The author has configured a stop loss of 25% to let the trade breathe, I think. The take profit point in the form of ROI has not been set. I see this because it is configured to 100. So the exit signals come from the indicators that are configured in the code. What I also can see from the code is that there is a mix of indicators and custom triggers. The base indicators used here are the simple moving average, the RSI and Stochastics indicator, and if you want to know more of these indicators, I suggest you read up on these on the internet. The RSI also has a 50-day moving average added. The Stochastics slow K and slow D period are not the default ones, but are custom. Another interesting thing here is the growing SMA parameter. Apparently the author uses a true value here if the close price of yesterday is higher than the day before and the close of the day before is higher than the day before that. Which means that the SMA is rising over the previous 3 days, which is very ingenious. There is also a custom trigger called stock sell cross, and that gives a true value if the slow D and slow K value are above 75 and then the slow K crosses below the slow D. Also, there is another exit signal configured that uses a saved lowest low candle value over the last 100 candles, and when price comes below that value, then an exit signal is given. You can also see this in the buy and sell trend functions further down the code. The buy signal is given when the close price is above the simple moving average and the growing SMA value is equal to true, so there must be a rising SMA. The RSI is higher than the simple moving average of the RSI, and finally the RSI should be above the 50 level. In this strategy there are only sell signals if stop loss gets hit or when the following triggers happen. You can see that the stock sell cross can give a sell signal, so when slow D and slow K are above 75 and the bearish cross occurs, then a sell signal happens. But also when the close price gets below the last lowest price over the last 100 days according to the configured trigger. I assume that this last one acts like a moving stop loss, but also acts as an exit signal when the price gets under this last lowest price. So if I use these on the chart, it looks like this. For buying, the signal has to be when the close price is above the simple moving average, the growing SMA value is equal to true, so there must be a rising SMA, and the RSI is higher than the RSI simple moving average, and finally it should be above the 50 level. And selling happens when the Stochastics cross is above the 75 level or the price gets below the last lowest candle. So now that I know all this, let's backtest this strategy over all the available time periods and let's see if the intended 30-minute time frame is the most profitable one. According to the backtests over the available time periods, I have the following results. The best time frame is the 4-hour time frame. It has a total profit of 1770%. The drawdown of the strategy is 881% and the win rate is 42%. The risk of ruin of this strategy is 150%. It's nice to see that a strategy that was made for a lower time frame also actually performs better on that lower time frame than the daily time frame. However, the 4 hour still seems to give the best odds for having a profitable strategy, so I will be building further on that time frame. The only thing I do not really like is the drawdown of that 800+%. The other values seem to be quite reasonable. And come to think of it, all those custom measures to try to get winning trades or prevent losing trades did not seem to pay off that much. The win rate is still moderate, as you can see from the backtest results. Now what I have done is creating a HYPEROPT file from this strategy to see if I can even get better results. My initial thought is that the buy triggers primarily come from the simple moving average and the RSI level. The sell trigger primarily comes from the horizontal line, where slow K and slow D must be above and cross to trigger a sell signal. So what I've done is add 3 spaces to find the optimal SMA, RSI level and the stochastics level. And as you can see, the optimal moving average is determined over here, and it also directly influenced the growing SMA indicator, so these values also had to be changed. The optimal RSI level and stochastics level are determined in the buy and sell functions. So now that I've done this, let's see if I can use hyperparameter optimization to improve the strategy. And oh, of course, I will leave the strategy file, HYPEROPT file and HYPEROPT results on my blog, so you can use the code for your own tests and inspiration as well. You can find the link in the description below for that. And after optimizing again, I see some very nice improvements. The hypothetical gains were optimized by almost 250%. And again, this comes primarily from setting the ROI take profit levels and not as much from the sell signals. Also, the drawdown significantly improved by 50%, and I assume that this is from taking profits on the right time. The sell signal still has a lot of losses, and I'm wondering if this can be avoided by some other indicator that only allows the strategy to trade under bullish circumstances. Like for example a super trend indicator, but that is for another time to find out maybe. Also, do not assume that if you copied this approach 100% that you should have the same results. That's because of the way HYPEROPT works, and you can learn this in my hyperparameter optimization video. So let's compare the profit charts and see how this strategy behaves over time. If I compare the before HYPEROPT and after HYPEROPT profit chart, then I immediately see a big difference in the period the drawdown occurred. In the original strategy, this drawdown was a slow, long bleed of funds from what I think is the end of the previous bull market to the beginning of the current bull market. The drawdown from the HYPEROPT strategy is much shorter and also lesser burden on the hypothetical funds. The most current time periods also show the difference in the two trading configurations. The pre-HYPEROPT graph has the highest peak of around 40,000 USD Tether, but the HYPEROPT graph stops at around 100k and it never goes below 60k again. There's no period where there is no trade because there is no flat line. So in these bearish periods the bot still trades, and that's where an extra indicator may come in handy to filter out these bearish periods. But as said earlier, that's for an enthusiastic viewer to find out. Let's see how this Vulcan strategy performs in comparison with the earlier tests I have done. But before I continue with the overall strategy leak, I quickly want to inform you about the way I do these tests. In this overview I've written down the setup for these tests and also the method I try to find the best strategy. This is the way I do these backtests to find the most profitable strategy. You can always use this as an inspiration to develop your own methodology. I always recommend that you do your own research after watching my video. Develop your own way of testing and get confidence in your methodology. And make sure that you always forward test the strategy before using it in actual real-life trading. I have made the mistake by not forward testing an earlier strategy and I have lost money by doing so. so learn from my experience. So with this out of the way, let's see how this Vulcan strategy performs in comparison with my earlier tests. The list gets nice and long, and this is already the 11th strategy that I'm testing. The Vulcan strategy enters the overall league in the 4th position. It has the highest potential profit in the top 5 and a win rate of 50% is better than the number 1 of this list. Also, the risk of ruin is better than the numbers 2 and 3. The only drawback is the relative higher drawdown that this strategy has. But as said earlier, I think that extra bullish or bearish market condition indicators can easily filter out bad trades under bearish conditions. The relative high amount of trades will cost you trading fees, so also be aware of this. So again, a new strategy that performs quite well in comparison with earlier tests I did. Also, the author has tried some interesting things to improve his buy and sell signals, and they are interesting examples on how you can improve your own strategy by using these in your own code. Maybe one of the viewers can pick up the challenge to improve the strategy and give feedback on his or her improvements. I'm very curious if this works out. And so with this invitation, I'm at the end of my video. Thank you for watching, and as always I want to ask you to please click on the like button. Also click on the bell icon if you want to get notified on my newest videos. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't done already so. Please keep in mind I'm not affiliated with the Freqtrade bot or the writer of this strategy. If you have any questions about the bot, then please ask the developers on their GitHub site. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!